Release from Ole Miss after guiding the Rebel basketball team to its first 20-win season in 5 years. Gosh, imagine. I mean, you want to talk about how down in the gutter Ole Miss basketball was, after COVID hit. Goodness gracious. I didn't realize it was 5 years. And an 8-win improvement. Ole Miss and head coach Chris Beard will continue their upward trajectory and have agreed on a new contract. It was announced Wednesday by Keith Carter. He gave a quote. Chris Beard gave a quote. The important thing is that this is reportedly a new contract. This is not just an automatic rollover. This is a new contract, new money, new terms, 6 years. And yes, you can circumvent the Mississippi state law by using your foundation. 6-year deal, new money, which would mean a new buyout, which would mean that the long-standing rumors of Louisville's going to come open, Musselman's going to take the Louisville job, Beard's going to take the Arkansas job, are not happening. And so at least for this offseason, it appears that any departure has been put to rest with a new deal that includes new money and a new buyout.
Now, I get to play the bad guy.
Go for it.
That this is obviously a great move for Ole Miss, right? And it shows that they're committed to Chris Beard and that program. But the same thing is true with all coaching contracts. If somebody bigger wants him, they'll just pay the buyout and take him. That being said, we'll see. We'll see. But that being said, I keep saying that being said. But that being said, I mean, to me, it looks like Chris Beard will be on the sidelines next year, be on the bench next year for the Ole Miss Rebels. And that's great news if you're an Ole Miss fan, because he showed you in year one how good he can be, right? That team had no business winning as many games as it did from a talent perspective. Another year with the portal in recruiting, and you've got to think that will be an NCAA tournament team next season.
Yeah, Louisville did fire Kenny Payne today. Based on people that cover that program, it does not appear that neither Chris Beard nor Eric Musselman are prime candidates for that job. So
who is the guy there then? Those are Nate Oates?
Possibly.
That's got to be the guy.
Was it Mick Cronin? Wasn't that another?
At UCLA? He's not leaving UCLA, is he?
UCLA now moving to the Big Ten, famously struggling with NIL.
It's true, but it's still UCLA basketball. It's that name still carries weight.
It should. Yeah. Not in my generation, though.
You say that. I mean, they went to 3 straight Final Fours under Howland.
God, that is
true.
They
were in the Final Four
Russell Westbrook
2 years ago, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, and they had Aaron Afalo and all those guys, and Zach LaVine, and then they were in the Final Four just like 2 years ago, weren't they?
They were.
Yeah. So I mean, that's still a top program.
So now, two things can be true at once, right? Like you said, what happened?
Calvin Ridley has signed with the Titans.
Out of nowhere?
Yeah, that's what Rappaport says. That's a stunner.
Completely out of nowhere. Good for the Titans.
4 years, $92 million, $50 million guaranteed.
$92 million for Calvin Ridley.
Gracious. Wow. I'm telling you, we have had NBA-style free agency here these past couple days.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. It's the improvement was palpable. Things did get weird though for a period of time, and hey, Dad, it caused people's minds to wonder. I mean, you want to know how wild the rumor mill can work sometimes. Not only was Chris Beard already taking, like the Arkansas job, he was taking it like that was done, like it was decided that Louisville was hiring Musselman and Arkansas was hiring Beard, and that it was already done. This is all, again, guys, the rumors that were going around. I am not saying that this was a real thing, but this is how far people let their minds go, that was already so far done that Keith Carter had already hired Will Wade as well when the season was over. So Musselman to Louisville, Beard to Arkansas, Wade to Ole Miss was all completed, like done. That's how far the rumors on that deal got, because the team started struggling and people were wondering, hey, does the team sense that their coach has his foot out the door? And there's no way of knowing. I think there was a lot of factors that led to them struggling down the stretch some, but his resume speaks for itself. In one of my YouTube comments, somebody asked, like, are we sure Chris Beard's that good of a coach after watching this year? I thought he took basically the same guys and added a couple portal pieces, and they improved by.
They weren't great, by the way.
Yeah,
like Cisse and Sharp and Murray were not huge contributors to this team.
And they, especially Murray, wasn't a huge contributor to his previous team. Like that was just kind of a flyer that they took on somebody, made him a point guard. But they improved by 8 wins and improved by 4 conference wins. Yes, he did a good job with Ole Miss this year, no doubt. But, I mean, he won 30 games at Little Rock. Took Texas Tech to the Final Four. To the national championship game. Yes, we are sure that he's a really high-quality basketball coach. And him remaining at Ole Miss for another year is great for Ole Miss. And now the next step is, of course, he's going to have to retool almost the entire roster because that's how, especially basketball, is really – you're flipping rosters on an annual basis. That is just the nature of basketball. And so that's going to be expensive if you're going to get the right players. And so, for whatever it's worth, the word going around is the collective, just like same person that told me that Lane Kiffin's number was met when he went and said, I need this much money if I'm going to get the portal class that I need. And they said, I have that much money, go get your guys. And we saw how that worked out. Apparently, the exact same thing has happened for basketball. Chris Beard has said, hey, this is the dollar amount. If you want to win in 2025, this is the amount of money that needs to be spent. Apparently, that was met with, you have that amount of money available come Sunday when the portal opens. Go get him, Tiger. We'll see it, but
see how it goes.
And the beauty of this conversation is we will see. There is a tangible, is what I said true or not result, and it's do they get those players or not?
Yes. Yeah, you know pretty quickly. So we'll see how it goes.
If they're settling for scraps, then they didn't have the money. If they're not, then they did. It's that simple.
At the end of the day, though, for Ole Miss to – because this is a guy whose name is going to be brought up in some big jobs. If they're able to hold on to him. It's the same thing with Kiffin, right? It's great for your university when you have a coach that other people and you can hold on to him. That makes your university more attractive to everybody, I think, to players, to other coaches. And then when the time comes that they do move on, you've got a job that's in demand. You got a job that people are like, I can go there and build a program there.
Because especially for basketball at Ole Miss, because it's different with football, right? Where if you're in the SEC, you don't have to necessarily prove it that you can win first. When you've got the resources of the SEC, people want your job. People want SEC jobs. When they come open, they are wanted by a lot of people. In basketball, it may not be that way. Like the Ole Miss basketball job is not a coveted job in college basketball the way an SEC job is in football. So the way that you can get away from that is having a guy like Chris Beard prove it. Like, hey, he was here for 2 years. In year 2, went to the tournament, won 24 games. The money was there. You can do it too. Because there is no history to point to. Although today is the anniversary of the Bryce Drew shot, by the way.
God, I wish Richard was here. I'd make you play that audio.
It is the anniversary today. But,
yeah.
Chris Beard, what, has he been to more Final Fours than Ole Miss has been Sweet 16s? Something like that.
If he's been to 2, then yeah.
So there's no history to speak to. How do you change the narrative about yourself? Have the money and prove that it's available. It can change everything for you. We'll see if they're able to take advantage of that this offseason. But good news